All right, welcome back to Mr. Slover's Math, and today we're going to focus on the distributive property. So the warm-up is just a reminder, refresher of collecting like terms, which we are still going to use today. So when you collect like terms, it has to be the same letter and the same power. So in letter B, same letter X, the same power, right, to the first power. So I just do 2 minus 1. That's how I got the X. In letter C, these n's are the same letter, but they are different powers, so we cannot combine them. All right, the notes. So for the distributive property, here's just a generic expression. So A times the quantity B plus C, where A, B, and C are going to be replaced with some value or some letter, some unknown something. When you distribute, you're trying to get rid of these parentheses. And when you're distributing, you're multiplying. This is really saying A times this whole thing in parentheses. So if we were to rewrite this, we would say A times B plus A times C. Okay, so it'll make more sense when we do like example 1 or 2. But over here to the side, I did want to state one of the most common missed distribution properties or distribution examples. If there is a negative outside the parentheses, it means a -1 goes to everything inside the parentheses. Lots of students just want to do negative to the first term, but it is to everything inside the parentheses. So when I went through my notes, I drew arrows to remind myself that the 7 is being multiplied to the 3w and the 7 is being multiplied to the -5. And that's what I'm showing here in red. I didn't do that everywhere, but I gave you an idea of how I was getting these numbers. So I did 7 times 3w, and that's how I got 21w. 7 times -5, that's how I got -35. Okay, so all of these, in example 1, I was distributing a positive number. Down here, I'm distributing a negative, but we're doing the same thing. I'm still multiplying -6 times 2r squared. Well, -6 times 2 is -12. And then the r squared is still there. -6 times -1. We got to take that sign with it. 2 negatives multiply give you a positive. So it should be +6. So on for the other ones. Example 3, here's where you see 3 examples of the most commonly missed distribution questions, where it's just a minus and then some parentheses. Remember, this is saying -1 times all of this. -1 times all of this. -1 times all of this. And then we are distributing just like we did in example 2. I just didn't draw the arrows on this one. So when I distribute, I got -w squared plus 5. And then example 4. So now we're combining what we did today and what you did the past few days with collecting like terms. You first have to distribute, right? We're following the order of operations. This is multiplication. You do multiplication before you do this addition. So we're not doing -9.4 plus 6. Right? Our order of operations, our PEMDAS says we have to distribute, we have to multiply first. Then we can collect the like terms. So we're going to distribute the 6 to everything inside the parentheses. And that's why I have 3 arrows, because there's 3 terms inside the parentheses. That -9.4 just stays. That -9.4 stays exactly where it is. We didn't do anything with it yet. But we did distribute the 6 to the first term. So 6 times g cubed is 6g cubed. 6 times -g is -6g. 6 times 1 is -6. So step 1, we distributed. Step 2, we collect the like terms. So notice I highlighted my like terms. Those are my constants. There is no letter or variable with those. We can combine them. -9.4 plus 6. That gave me -3.4. And then the other two stay separate. They are the same letter, but they are a different power. So they're going to stay separate. Okay, so when you distribute, you take the sign and the number with it. So this had a negative. We take a negative and distribute. We multiply to everything inside the parentheses. And then when you're done, you collect like terms. So if you have questions,